Srirangapatna is a historic town located in the Mandya district of Karnataka. Built on a beautiful island formed between two branches of the river Kaveri, it is renowned as one of the major political, cultural, and religious centers of South India. With a history spanning more than 1,000 years, the town occupies a prominent place in the heritage of Karnataka. In ancient times, Srirangapatna came under the rule of the Gangas, Hoysalas, and the Vijayanagar Empire. It later developed into the capital of the Kingdom of Mysore. The famous Sri Ranganathaswamy temple, which gives the town its name, is an important pilgrimage center for devotees. The history of Srirangapatna dates back to around the 9th century. The region was initially ruled by the Western Ganga dynasty, during whose reign religious and cultural activities flourished. From the 4th century CE to the 10th century CE, the area remained under Ganga administration. The Ganga kings ruled large parts of southern Karnataka, and the regions surrounding Srirangapatna formed an important part of their kingdom. During their rule, agriculture, trade, and religious activities prospered. The waters of the river Kaveri were effectively utilized to support farming and irrigation. The Ganga rulers encouraged Jainism, Shaivism, and Vaishnavism, leading to the growth of numerous temples and religious institutions. During this period, Srirangapatna gradually emerged as an important settlement and religious center. The strong cultural foundation laid by the Gangas later supported the achievements of the Hoysalas and the Vijayanagar rulers. For this reason, the Ganga period is often regarded as the golden age of Srirangapatna's early development. After the Western Gangas, the influence of the Chola Empire expanded into the Srirangapatna region during the 10th century CE. The military campaigns of the powerful South Indian emperors Rajaraja Chola and Rajendra Chola brought the region under Chola rule. The Cholas were not only successful conquerors, but also efficient administrators. They improved land surveys, tax collection systems, and local governance, making administration more effective and beneficial to the people. The abundant water resources of the river Kaveri were utilized to improve agriculture. New canals and irrigation systems enabled farmers to cultivate larger and more productive crops. As a result, Srirangapatna gradually developed into an important center of agriculture and trade. The Chola rulers also extended strong support to religion and culture. They built temples dedicated to Shaivism and Vaishnavism and restored older shrines. The Sri Ranganathaswamy temple received patronage and support during this period. Temples served not only as places of worship but also as centers of education, music, literature, and the arts. During Chola rule, Srirangapatna experienced considerable cultural and economic prosperity. Trade, agriculture, and religious activities flourished, increasing the importance of the region. When the power of the Chola Empire declined during the 12th century, the Hoysalas established their influence over the area. Nevertheless, the administrative systems, irrigation projects, and temple traditions introduced by the Cholas left a lasting mark on the history of Srirangapatna. Under Hoysala rule, temple architecture, sculpture, and artistic traditions witnessed remarkable growth. In the 14th century, Srirangapatna came under the control of the Vijayanagar Empire and developed into an important administrative and commercial center. Following the decline of the Vijayanagar Empire, the Vodiyas of Mysore assumed control and gave greater importance to the development of the town. The name, Srirangapatna, is derived from the famous Sri Ranganathaswamy temple located here. Situated amidst the waters of the river Kaveri, this sacred shrine has been a center of devotion for centuries and remains one of the most important Vaishnavite pilgrimage sites in South India. Owing to its historical, religious, and cultural significance, Srirangapatna holds a unique place in Karnataka's history. During the 18th century, under the rule of Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan, Srirangapatna reached the peak of its glory. It became the capital of the Mysore kingdom and a major center of political and military activity. Tipu Sultan used Srirangapatna as his headquarters in the struggle against British expansion in India. The town witnessed several important battles, including the historic Battle of Srirangapatna in 1799, which marked a turning point in Indian history and led to the fall of Tipu Sultan. Today, Srirangapatna attracts visitors through its magnificent fort, palaces, temples, monuments, and historical landmarks. The town preserves the memories of its rich past, while continuing to serve as an important cultural and tourist destination. With its unique combination of history, spirituality, architecture, and natural beauty, Srirangapatna remains one of Karnataka's most treasured heritage sites and a proud symbol of the state's glorious past. After the decline of Chola influence in the 12th century, the Hoysala Empire emerged as a dominant power in southern Karnataka. Srirangapatna also came under Hoysala rule, and during this period the region witnessed remarkable growth in culture, religion, and architecture. The Hoysala rulers were great patrons of art, literature, and religion. Under Hoysala administration, significant importance was given to the construction and restoration of temples in and around Srirangapatna. They extended equal patronage to Shaivism, Vaishnavism, and Jainism, promoting religious harmony and cultural prosperity throughout the region. The Hoysala period is especially renowned for its exquisite sculpture and architecture. Intricate stone carvings, beautifully crafted pillars, and artistically designed temples became the hallmarks of their architectural style. The influence of this artistic tradition can also be seen in the Srirangapatna region. Temples served not only as places of worship but also as centers for education, music, dance, and literature. The Hoysalas also encouraged agriculture and trade. The waters of the river Kaveri were effectively utilized to improve agricultural productivity. This contributed to economic prosperity and enhanced the importance of the town. When the Hoysala Empire weakened in the early 14th century, the Vijayanagar Empire established its control over the region. Nevertheless, the Hoysalas left behind a priceless legacy of temple architecture, sculpture, and cultural achievements. Their era is often regarded as a golden age that enriched the cultural grandeur of Srirangapatna. Following the fall of the Hoysala Empire in the 14th century, Srirangapatna came under the rule of the Vijayanagar Empire. One of the most powerful kingdoms in South India, Vijayanagar achieved remarkable progress in political, economic, and cultural spheres. During this period, Srirangapatna developed into an important administrative and commercial center. Its location on the banks of the river Kaveri made it highly favorable for trade. The Vijayanagar rulers improved roads, marketplaces, and commercial networks, encouraging business activities. Trade in agricultural products, textiles, and other commodities brought considerable economic prosperity to the region. The Vijayanagar kings were also great patrons of religion and culture. They provided protection and endowments to several religious institutions, including the Sri Ranganathaswamy temple. Temples functioned not only as places of worship but also as centers of education, art, and literature. During this period, Kannada, Sanskrit, and Telugu literature flourished. Administratively, Srirangapatna became one of the important provincial centers of the Vijayanagar Empire. Local governance was strengthened, and various measures were introduced for public welfare. Irrigation systems were improved to support agriculture, and the waters of the river Kaveri were utilized more efficiently. After the Battle of Talikota in 1565, the power of the Vijayanagar Empire gradually declined. As a result, Srirangapatna came under the influence of local chieftains and later the Mysore warriors. However, the administrative systems, trade networks, and cultural traditions established during the Vijayanagar period provided a strong foundation for the future development of Srirangapatna. For this reason, the Vijayanagar era is considered an important chapter in the town's history. In 1610 CE, Raja Vodaya I captured Srirangapatna from the representatives of the Vijayanagar Empire. This victory marked a significant turning point in the history of the Mysore kingdom, and Srirangapatna became its capital. As a result, the town's political, economic, and cultural importance increased considerably. Under the rule of the Mysore warriors, Srirangapatna developed into a major administrative center. Palaces, forts, temples, and public buildings were constructed, contributing to the town's growth and prosperity. Surrounded by the waters of the river Kaveri, the city enjoyed natural protection, making it an ideal capital. The Vodayars actively promoted agriculture, trade, and the arts. Agriculture flourished through the effective use of Kaveri's waters, while merchants from different regions contributed to the growth of trade and commerce. The town steadily advanced toward economic prosperity. The Vodayars also made significant contributions to religion by providing patronage and donations to many temples, including the Sri Ranganathaswamy temple. During this period, Kannada literature, music, and culture experienced considerable growth. Poets, scholars, and artists received encouragement and support in the royal courts. As a result, Srirangapatna gained prominence not only as a political capital but also as a major cultural and religious center of the Mysore kingdom. For nearly 1.5 centuries, Srirangapatna served as the capital of the Mysore kingdom and emerged as a symbol of its power and grandeur. Even after Hyder Ali rose to prominence in the 18th century, Srirangapatna continued to remain the capital of the state. The period of Vodayar rule is regarded as a golden age of development, prosperity, and cultural richness in the history of Srirangapatna. In 1761, Hyder Ali established his influence over the administration of the Mysore kingdom and became its de facto ruler. Although the Vodayar dynasty continued officially, real administrative and military authority rested in Hyder Ali's hands. During this period, Srirangapatna grew into an even stronger and more influential political center as the capital of Mysore. Hyder Ali was a capable military leader who took significant steps to modernize the Mysore army. With the assistance of French experts, he introduced new military training methods, advanced weapons, and modern warfare strategies. As a result, the Mysore army became one of the most powerful military forces in South India. The fortifications of Srirangapatna were strengthened, and special attention was given to the defense of the kingdom. Surrounded by the waters of the river Kaveri, the city was naturally well protected, making it an ideal military and administrative headquarters. Hyder Ali expanded the boundaries of the Mysore kingdom, extending its influence into many parts of present-day Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala. During his reign, agriculture, trade, and administration also received considerable encouragement. Assistance was provided to farmers, and the taxation system was improved. Trade routes were developed, increasing the kingdom's revenue and contributing to the economic growth of Srirangapatna. Hyder Ali fought several wars to resist the expansion of the British East India Company. His leadership during the First and Second Anglo-Mysore Wars demonstrated the strength of the Mysore kingdom. His resistance to British expansion occupies an important place in the political history of South India. After Hyder Ali's death in 1782, his son Tipu Sultan assumed control of the kingdom. Hyder Ali's rule transformed Mysore into a powerful military state and established Srirangapatna as one of the leading political and military centers of South India. His reign is remembered as a crucial chapter in the rise of the Mysore Empire. In 1782, Tipu Sultan succeeded his father Hyder Ali as the ruler of Mysore. Srirangapatna remained his capital and developed into one of the most important political, military, and administrative centers in South India during his reign. Because of his courage, vision, and determined resistance against British expansion, Tipu Sultan became widely known as the Tiger of Mysore. Tipu Sultan introduced several reforms to strengthen the administration of the kingdom. He issued new coinage, improved land measurement and taxation systems, and encouraged agriculture and trade. He paid special attention to the development of silk production, industries, and international commerce, helping Mysore become economically stronger and more prosperous. In the military sphere, Tipu Sultan adopted innovative technologies and is regarded as one of the first Indian rulers to use rocket technology effectively in warfare. He further strengthened the fortifications of Srirangapatna and transformed the city into the principal center of resistance against the British. During his reign, the four Anglo-Mysore wars were fought. Tipu Sultan continuously opposed the expansion of the British East India Company and sought alliances with foreign powers, including France, to counter British influence. His bravery, determination, and patriotism have earned him a special place in Indian history. In 1799, during the siege of Srirangapatna, British forces launched a major attack on Srirangapatna. In the fierce battle that followed, Tipu Sultan died while defending his capital. His death marked the end of a significant chapter in the history of the Mysore kingdom, and led to the expansion of British influence across South India. The era of Tipu Sultan remains one of the most celebrated periods in the history of Srirangapatna, characterized by military valor, administrative reforms, economic progress, and resistance against colonial rule. Even today, the Srirangapatna Fort, Darya Daulat Bagh, and the memorials associated with Tipu Sultan stand as lasting reminders of his courage, leadership, and enduring legacy. Following the death of Tipu Sultan during the siege of Seringapatam in 1799, the Kingdom of Mysore came under British control. After Tipu Sultan's fall, the British restored the Vodaya dynasty to the throne of Mysore. The young Krishna Raja Vodaya III was installed as the ruler of the kingdom. Although the Vodayas returned to power, the kingdom was no longer fully independent. The administration operated under the supervision of the British East India Company, and British influence was significant in major political and military decisions. However, the Vodayas continued to manage the internal administration, legal affairs, and developmental activities of the state. During this period, Srirangapatna gradually lost its importance as the capital. As the administrative center shifted toward Mysore city, Srirangapatna remained primarily a historical and religious center. Nevertheless, its fort, temples, and palaces continued to symbolize the rich heritage of the kingdom. Under the restored Vodaya administration, efforts were made to improve education, agriculture, and public administration. Various welfare measures were introduced for the benefit of the people. However, the kingdom's political and economic independence remained limited due to British control. In 1831, citing administrative inefficiency and financial mismanagement, the British assumed direct control over the administration of the Mysore kingdom. This marked the end of the first phase of the restored Vodaya rule. The period from 1799 to 1831 was a time of dynastic restoration and expanding British influence in Mysore. It represents an important chapter in the transition from independent rule to colonial supervision. In 1831, the British government took direct control of Mysore, claiming that the state suffered from administrative and financial difficulties. The powers of the Mysore Maharaja were significantly reduced, and the administration was entrusted to British commissioners. During this period, all regions of the Mysore state, including Srirangapatna, came under direct British authority. The British introduced several administrative reforms, including new legal frameworks, taxation systems, and governance structures. Greater attention was given to the development of roads, communication networks, and public services, making trade and administration more efficient. Although Srirangapatna had lost its status as the capital by this time, its historical and religious importance remained intact. The British took measures to maintain the fort, temples, and historical monuments. The town increasingly came to be recognized as a heritage site rather than an administrative center. Changes were also introduced in agriculture and land revenue administration. Efforts were made to improve the utilization of the waters of the river Kaveri for irrigation. New schools and educational institutions were established, and the influence of English education gradually increased throughout the region. Under the administration of British Commissioners Mark Cubbon and Louis Boring, significant progress was made in roads, public administration, and civic services. Their reforms laid the foundation for the modern administrative system of Mysore. In 1881, through the historic event known as the rendition of Mysore, the administration of the state was formally returned to the Vodaya dynasty under the leadership of Chamarajendra Vodaya X. This marked the end of nearly 50 years of direct British administration. The period from 1831 to 1881 represents an important chapter in the history of Srirangapatna, characterized by administrative transformation, the introduction of modern institutions, and the expansion of colonial influence. It also laid the groundwork for the future modernization of the Mysore state. Following the rendition of Mysore in 1881, the administration of the kingdom was restored to the Vodeyar dynasty. Under the leadership of Chamarajendra Vodeyar X, the Mysore state once again assumed responsibility for its governance. Although Srirangapatna was no longer the capital, it continued to preserve its historical, cultural, and religious significance. The restored Vodeyar administration focused on the overall development of the state. Major reforms were introduced in education, healthcare, agriculture, industry, and public administration. Schools, hospitals, roads, and public buildings were constructed to improve the quality of life for the people. The reign of Krishnaraja Vodeyar IV is often regarded as the golden age of the Mysore state. During his rule, Mysore became recognized as one of the most progressive princely states in India. Significant advancements were made in electricity, irrigation, education, and industry. The benefits of this development extended to Srirangapatna and the surrounding regions, contributing to their growth and prosperity. Although Srirangapatna no longer held political power as the state capital, it remained a cherished symbol of Mysore's glorious past. Its historic fort, ancient temples, royal monuments, and cultural heritage continued to attract pilgrims, scholars, and visitors, preserving the legacy of the rulers and events that shaped the history of Karnataka and South India. Located on the banks of the river Kaveri, Srirangapatna continued to hold an important position in the agricultural sector. Irrigation facilities were expanded to support farmers and increase agricultural production. At the same time, efforts were made to preserve the town's historic monuments, temples, forts, and other heritage structures. During this period, the influence of the Indian freedom movement was also felt in the Mysore state. The people of Srirangapatna supported various national movements and demonstrated a strong spirit of patriotism. Ideas of freedom and self-governance spread widely throughout society. When India gained independence in 1947, the Mysore state joined the Indian Union. This marked the end of an important chapter in the rule of the Vodeyar dynasty. The period from 1881 to 1947 was an era of development, educational progress, agricultural reform, and cultural preservation in the history of Srirangapatna. It laid a strong foundation for the town's modern growth and transformation. After India achieved independence in 1947, Srirangapatna entered a new phase of development. Following the integration of the Mysore state into the Indian Union, Srirangapatna became an important town in the Mandya district of Karnataka. Although it no longer held the political importance it once enjoyed, its rich historical, cultural, and religious heritage helped it emerge as one of the state's major tourist destinations. In the post-independence era, the government paid special attention to the preservation of Srirangapatna's historical monuments, forts, temples, and palaces. Landmarks such as the Srirangapatna Fort, Darya Daulat Bagh, Gumbaj, and the Sri Ranganathaswamy temple attract thousands of visitors from across India and around the world. Situated on the banks of the river Kaveri, the town continues to hold great religious significance. The Sri Ranganathaswamy temple remains one of the most important Vaishnavite pilgrimage centers in South India, drawing thousands of devotees every year. Agriculture continues to play a vital role in the economy of Srirangapatna. Supported by the irrigation waters of the river Kaveri, farmers cultivate paddy, sugarcane, and various other crops. Tourism and agriculture together contribute significantly to the town's economic development. Today, Srirangapatna is widely known for its glorious history, the legacy of Tipu Sultan, its ancient temples, and its natural beauty. As one of Karnataka's most celebrated historic towns, it continues to stand as a living testimony to the region's rich history, culture, and traditions. Srirangapatna is home to several remarkable historical monuments that reflect its rich cultural heritage. The Sri Ranganathaswamy Temple is the town's most important religious landmark and one of the foremost Vaishnavite pilgrimage centers in South India. Located amidst the waters of the river Kaveri, the temple has served as a place of worship and devotion for centuries. The Srirangapatna fort, strengthened during the reigns of Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan, played a crucial role in the defense of the Mysore kingdom. The famous Battle of Srirangapatna of 1799 was fought around this fort, making it one of the most significant sites in Indian history. Nearby stands Darya Daulat Bagh, the summer palace of Tipu Sultan, renowned for its beautiful murals and elegant architecture that continue to captivate visitors. The Gumbaj Mausoleum houses the tombs of Tipu Sultan, Hyder Ali, and Fakhr-un-Nisa. It is an outstanding example of Islamic architecture and remains a major attraction for history enthusiasts. Another notable site is Sangama, where the branches of the river Kaveri converge. This scenic location is known for both its natural beauty and religious significance. These temples, forts, palaces, and monuments collectively showcase the rich history, culture, and heritage of Srirangapatna. Even today, they attract thousands of pilgrims and tourists, making the town one of Karnataka's most important historical destinations. Srirangapatna is a unique confluence of history, religion, culture, and heritage. Having been ruled by several dynasties over the centuries, the town evolved into a symbol of harmony among Hindu, Islamic, and Kannada cultural traditions. Its temples, mosques, forts, palaces, and monuments continue to keep its glorious past alive. Reflecting religious tolerance, artistic excellence, and cultural richness, Srirangapatna remains one of Karnataka's most treasured heritage sites and a proud symbol of the state's historical legacy. Nestled in the lap of the river Kaveri, Srirangapatna holds a unique place because of its natural beauty and historical significance. The town continues to preserve the legacy of the Gangas, Cholas, Hoysalas, Vijayanagar Empire, Mysore Vodayars, Hyder Ali, and Tipu Sultan. In particular, the courage, patriotism, and resistance of Tipu Sultan against British expansion have made Srirangapatna an immortal name in Indian history. Today, Srirangapatna is recognized as one of Karnataka's most important historical and tourist destinations, attracting thousands of visitors from India and around the world every year. With its rich history, cultural heritage, and the scenic beauty of the river Kaveri, the town truly deserves to be called the historical jewel of Karnataka. Srirangapatna stands as a living testament to the pride, heritage, and glorious history of our land, preserving the memories of the past while inspiring future generations.